guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you the things I wish I'd known about trying to get pregnant. Let's just jump right in. The first thing I wish I would have known is that it is definitely harder than you think. I feel like in school or when we were younger, they used to say to us, like, you touch a boy in a suggestive way and you will get pregnant. If you do anything without any sort of protection, you are going to get pregnant. I understand that that is a little bit of a fear tactic used to like deter most teenagers from getting pregnant. I get it. But as an adult who was then trying to get pregnant, I quickly realized that, wait a minute, it is actually not that easy to get pregnant, and there are a lot of different factors that have to align to conceive. Next thing I wish I had known about trying to get pregnant is that tracking your period is actually going to be really helpful. I did start tracking my period, but I want to say it was about a month or two before we started trying. And I think it would have been a lot more helpful if I had started tracking my period like way before. And I wish I would have also known like more about my cycle before I wanted to get pregnant. Maybe I would have felt a little bit more empowered, a little bit more in control sooner. But yes, I did start tracking my period, and I would recommend that if you are looking to get pregnant or one day hoping to get pregnant, start tracking your period sooner rather than later. Backing off of that last one, I wish I would have known that there are so many pregnancy, ovulation, fertility tracking apps out there. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Everyone has a different one that they love. I'll share with you the ones that I really love. I really love Ovia, and I really liked Clue. I used Clue first, and the Clue period tracking app is really user-friendly, and that's what really drew me to it. It was super easy to use. I'm not like super tech savvy, and I didn't want to be like so overwhelmed by like a million different options, and Clue was just really straightforward. Their interface was like super easy to use. I found that one really helpful when I was just tracking my period. But then when I became more involved with really trying to understand my fertility cycles and ovulation, and then like taking the deep dive into CM and basal body temperature, that's when I really fell in love with Ovia. I feel like the Ovia app is just a really like well done, very detailed app, but still really easy to use. So those are the two that I love. If you guys have any that you really love or swear by, leave them down in the comments below for sure. Next thing I wish I would have known about trying to get pregnant is, even with using those apps, pregnancy isn't a guarantee. And I guess that's the hardest part. And I wasn't expecting so much disappointment, or like feeling so much disappointment, because I feel like with everything else, at least in my life, you know, it's easy enough to like brush it off to the side and say like, okay, well, I'll try again, or, you know, like next time it'll be different. But when the stakes are so high, and when like a little human life is the end result or the end goal, it can be really disappointing when you don't get pregnant. And so just know that even with using the apps, even with tracking, it's still a little bit of a guessing game. Next thing I wish I would have known about trying to get pregnant is that you can't use lube with spermicide in it. Let's break that down for a second. Spermicide is an ingredient that is sometimes included in different lubricants that kills sperm, or like prohibits them from traveling through your vaginal canal, like up into your uterus to your egg. So if you're not trying to get pregnant, spermicide in lubricant is a really fantastic ingredient. However, if you don't know that spermicide exists and you're trying to get pregnant and you're using a lube that has spermicide in it, it can be really detrimental, obviously, because it can really inhibit sperm from getting to your egg. And if you don't know that it's in there, it can be really frustrating, because you can think like, wait a minute, like I'm doing everything right, like is there something wrong with me? When in actuality, just changing out the lube could be like the difference between being pregnant and not being pregnant. That's not in every single case, but that was the case for us. I had no idea that spermicide was a thing. I will link Pre-Seed. I believe is like the #1 fertility doctor recommended lubricant to use if you're trying to get pregnant. It is the opposite of spermicide, and it helps aid in the transport of sperm to your egg. It acts almost like the CM that your body develops during your most fertile window. So yes, please, if you're trying to get pregnant, be aware that not all lube is created equal. And the last thing I wish I would have known about trying to get pregnant is the whole 2-week wait period. Oh my gosh, if you have been trying to get pregnant, you will know how frustrating, oh my gosh, the 2-week wait period is. So the 2-week wait period is that time after your fertility window, before your period. It's that like really gray area of time where you're not producing enough HCG or enough of the pregnancy hormone to detect whether or not you're pregnant on a pregnancy test. So you have no idea if you're pregnant, if you're not. It's just a waiting game. And if you're impatient like me, then it can be the hardest 2 weeks ever. And they really suggest that you don't take pregnancy tests during that period because you can get a bunch of false negatives, which can be disheartening because you can think you're not pregnant when in actuality it's just that your either egg hasn't implanted yet or maybe you're not producing enough HCG yet. I had no idea about the 2-week wait period, and it wasn't until I joined some of those fertility tracking apps and looked at the message boards, I saw TWW acronym everywhere, and I was like, what is TWW? It stands for 2-week wait, and is that frustrating period of time where you're just waiting to see whether or not you're pregnant. And that's everything I wish I would have known about trying to get pregnant. If you have anything to add to the conversation, definitely leave it down below. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more mommy and lifestyle content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.